having my hair dyed for some years before prison. Both my sisters knew this perfectly well, but somehow Patricia allowed the children's fright to affect her, so that she began to believe herself that it was something that had happened in an instant. I know that is what she used to tell people, as if it was some sort of fable or story. My sister was sent to jail and her hair turned white. It was one of those things that snowballed, rather, until everyone in the family believed it had happened from the upset of it all. But I wasn't upset. I did not mind being imprisoned. Well, that is not really true. I did mind very much, of course. Being separated from the children, taken out of one's home and set down among hostile strangers, kept under lock and key. And the catalogue of daily smells, urine and carbolic, and a sticky, fishy smell like wallpaper paste. But the thing was, I thought I deserved it. What I did was terrible. Terrible. The shame of it will never leave me until my dying day. Such a stupid, sordid thing, and yet I believed it to have had a terrible consequence. Had it not been for my weakness, someone who is now dead could still be alive. That is what I believed, and consequently lived with every day in prison. Chapter 1. Sussex, June 1938. Both her sisters had offered to put them up while they found a house. In some ways, Phyllis would have preferred to stay with Nina, even though things would have been more cramped. As it was, Hugh favoured staying with Patricia, whose house would be so much more comfortable, and as ever, Hugh prevailed. But what rankled was that Hugh hoped to have business in town over the coming weeks, and probably wouldn't be with them for more than 2 or 3 days a week. It was his wife who would be spending all her time with one sister or another, and not himself. When Phyllis ventured this point, he looked blank. "I can't see what that has to do with it," he said. "Well, what I meant was, it's me who'll have to be beholden, and I don't like to feel indebted to Patricia." "You should be indebted to Nina if we were her guests. It doesn't make any difference, surely," said Hugh. "It won't be for long, so you need not concern yourself. Patricia will enjoy having you." And there the subject was closed. On the train down to Sussex, the children had irritated their father by kicking their legs against the heating grill beneath the seats, until he had remonstrated with Phyllis to stop them. Unaccustomed to matters of discipline where the children were concerned, overseas she had always had a girl of some sort to look after the children, she hesitated before murmuring in their direction. The 2 girls desisted, but their younger brother did not. "Couldn't you tell Edwin a story or something?" Phyllis asked Julia, conscious of a note of pleading in her voice. The eldest of the 3, Julia, had her nose in one of her mother's old detective stories, but something in the bored droop of her shoulders suggested she was not lost in her book. "What about?" asked Julia. "I don't know, darling. Anything." But the younger girl, Frances, had stepped in with an impromptu tale of elves, talking sparrows and magical shoes. Heaven only knew where she dreamed up such things. Hugh read the newspaper while his wife looked out of the window. She had not been back to England for 3 years, and then only very briefly for Nina's wedding. Now the fields seemed almost absurdly green, the colour of new peas still bright in the pod. It made her happy to see such vividness. From the boat, the cliffs at Dover had looked so dingy, like the cut side of a stale loaf of bread, and the earth above the dull chalk had seemed as scant as a smear of Bovril. It was hard to believe that such thin soil could support the growth even of grass, let alone flowers or vegetables, still less trees. Looking homeward with eagerness from the deck of the ferry, it had felt disappointing suddenly to see that sturdy England was built on such thin earth. To the right, towards Broadstairs, the land was like a line drawn with a soft grey pencil between a sky and sea.